discovering the contrast among Japan's islands and the remarkable marriage between tradition and modernity, the traveler will experience a passionate journey to the archipelago. In addition to historical cities such as Kyoto, visiting the western part of Japan likens to a dive into the heart of a civilization over 1,000 years old and whose lifestyle and spirituality has fully preserved their originality and authenticity. With its luxuriant nature that rests and vibrates to the rhythm of a seismic activity among the most important on our planet, Japan just can't be summarized in a few lines. It must be experienced in stages that will gradually reveal all its riches and diversity. When arriving through the Kii Peninsula, the visitor discovers an eternal Japan that meets the traditional image that most Japanese enjoy displaying. On this peninsula, the density of the forest is only equaled by the fervor of the pilgrims who cross them. When following these 1,000-year-old paths, the traveler will uncover the roots of a spirituality that blends the cult of nature and ancient beliefs. For the Japanese, the mountain region of Kii is a sacred area where the divinities reside. Several sanctuaries are scattered throughout these mountains. Since the Middle Ages, they have been the destination of pilgrims. At first, this pilgrimage was only undertaken by members of the nobility, but with time, it became increasingly popular among the population and the ascetics. Today, there are very few pilgrims that complete the entire journey. There are several temples here, among them Sansei Gantiji. It is entirely built in wood and mingles in perfect harmony with the neighboring waterfalls. Although a place of prayer, no formal rituals prevail here. The Nachi waterfall is one of the highest in Japan. Waterfalls are the object of a real cult. They are believed to be a Shinto divinity. Waterfalls may reach 133 meters, but that doesn't prevent the monks from climbing to the top twice a year to hang white ribbons. These are supposed to attract the mercy favors of the divinity. No one else has the right or the power to approach the waterfall that closely. The Hayatama Temple in Kumano is also very unusual. It was built over 2,000 years ago as a place of worship to three divinities from the mountains. As in all Shinto temples, prior to entering you must purify yourself at the water fountain. This temple happens to be the first to have incorporated Old Shinto and Japanese Buddhism, thus creating the ancient religion of Shugendo. The resulting movement was a major influence in religious life in Japan. It is known under the term Kumago Gongen. Appearances can be deceptive. These temples are renovated and repainted every 20 to 30 years depending on the donations collected. Therefore, they have withstood time without too much damage. This holy and venerated place is surrounded by nature. Monks look after it with special care since, as they believe, it is a crucial vector for transmitting Kumano Gongen. City dwellers also appreciate this region for its hospitality. These traditional country inns, called ryokan, are comfortable. They offer the serenity that perfectly matches the forest and the mountains. Japan is located on the junction line of several tectonic plates. This explains why the Kii Peninsula is a volcanic area whose intense activity generates numerous warm water springs, such as here in Yunomine, the most ancient thermal town of Japan. The onsen are traditional baths. The water is often burning hot, yet its virtues have proven to be beneficial. A hot bath is above all a ritual. After having cleaned your body, you slip into the water to relax, to let yourself go, while enjoying such a peaceful decor. The ryokan are run by women. They are real hostesses. It is a genuine honor to welcome each client as a special guest. In the evening, a futon or rice straw mattress will be unfolded in the main room. The ryokan are also the perfect place to savor local specialities prepared with vegetables and condiments that grow in the mountains. The presentation is just as important as the freshness of the various dishes. During the Middle Ages, pilgrims would walk from Kyoto following these paths. They would first head for Koyazan and then the Kumano shrine. In the small villages near Kumano, each garden sets aside a small parcel of land to grow vegetables and especially green tea. Green tea is the national beverage. Knowledgeable tea lovers have their own manufacturing unit built with old cycle parts. After hours of great efforts and often long days of walking, pilgrims finally arrived at Mount Koyazan, the holy mountain. This ashram was built 12 centuries ago. At the time it welcomed disciplines of Shingon, an esoteric branch of Buddhism. Shingon was found by the great Kukai upon his return from China. Today he's revered as Kodo Daishi. The river that flows through Koyazan caused devastating floods at the end of the last century. The authorities simply decided to move several temples located on the riverbanks a few hundred meters above the unpredictable river. Their thatched roofs made them vulnerable to the fire arrows used during the wars or the confrontations among shoguns, the lords of war. Prior to ringing the small bell, the custom requires depositing an offering in the box just under it. In fact, the sound of the bell warns the divinities that a worshipper has arrived so they can hear his prayer and wishes.